So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And for all the programming available to you 24/7, 365 on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit xzbn.net. And for the programming on the X Zone TV channel, which is channel 21 on Simul TV, visit www.simultv.com. X Zone Nation, my guest this hour is Marcee Brightenstine. And we're going to be talking to Marcee about a haunted doll named Billy. Now, her owner is Marcee, and Millie is haunted by a spirit of a young girl from the 1800s. And Marcee is a fun-loving professional photographer, history buff, and paranormal investigator. Together, they raise eyebrows, laugh, and make friends throughout the country. And joining me now is Marcee Brightenstine. Welcome to the X Zone, Marcee.
Hi, thank you. I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself prior to Millie.
Okay, prior to Millie, I was a corporate career woman for 25 years, and also a paranormal investigator, photographer.
Yeah.
And paranormal investigating was a hobby. I'm married. I've been married for 31 years.
God bless you.
2 kids. And 2 grandbabies that are downstairs right now, and I'm hiding in my bedroom so they won't come in and interrupt on this interview.
Okay, so tell us the history of Millie, the haunted doll.
Okay. Well, this happened roughly about 5 years ago. And a friend of mine, Jessica, we had gone ghost hunting for the weekend. We're investigating a historical hotel in McCollum Hill. And our rooms were not ready, so we decided to just go out and explore and go shopping and visit a few of the pioneer cemeteries. Well, we went shopping, and we went to this little boutique, and in the back of the store, there was a wicker basket that had about, I'd say roughly 2 dozen Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls from all different time periods. And they were all used, some more lovingly more than others. And I was joking with my friend. I said, you know, when I was a little girl, I loved Raggedy Ann. I even had a Raggedy Ann lunchbox. And I just thought, you know, it looks so happy. And so I was going through the dolls, and there was this one doll that stuck with me. She had been given a haircut by her former owner, a very different haircut. Her feet had been stitched up, and her dress had holes in it. It was being held together with a blue ribbon. She had some slight staining on her face. No pantaloons, but she was really, really cute. And the price was $8. I said, you know, I'm buying her. I'm taking her home. And I was simply going there, you know, just shopping, and I was simply just buying a doll. The thought of a haunted doll, none of that was there. So after we went shopping, we had gone to Fiddletown. It's a very, very small gold rush town in California. It's one of those little towns where if you blink, you're going to miss it. It's very small. I don't even think the population's 300. But we were looking for the main cemetery, but we got lost, and we ended up out kind of in nowhere land. So I did a illegal U-turn out there on one of those back roads. And as I turned around, I saw a dirt road that said Oddfellows Cemetery, established 1853. I said, oh, well, let's go up there. It's kind of like it's a four-wheel drive type of road to get up to.
Mm-hmm. And
so we went up there, and as we approach the cemetery, it's completely shielded by trees. It's you know, it's very old and very quiet. And as we pull up, there's actually deer in the cemetery grazing. And so we get out as quietly as possible and take pictures because we thought this was just really neat. And then we just got out our equipment, recorders, K2 meters, etc., and went out and explored the cemetery. At this time, I had left the doll that I just purchased in my truck.
Are you talking about Millee here?
Yes.
Okay.
At that time, she didn't have a name.
Okay.
I like I say, it wasn't until several months of owning her that we got her name.
Right.
But we went out to the cemetery, and there was a family plot there that had 3 children pass away in 1863 within 6 weeks of each other. So some type of epidemic had gone through, and they had lost 3 children.
Oh, wow.
And so we started asking questions. We had the recorder going, the K2, and we started getting a little bit of activity on the K2 meter. And so I just jokingly said to my friend Jessica, I said, you know, how about if I go get the doll out of the truck? We'll use her as a trigger object, see if we can get any response. That's what we did. I went and got her, and I set her on the grave. And every piece of equipment that we had basically pegged. Things that don't normally make sounds on our equipment, you could hear clicking sounds. And we were just amazed by what we were watching. And we kept asking questions. You know, do you like the doll? Feel free to touch the doll. You know, is it making you feel better? Are you happy? And, you know, just some general questions. And this went on, I see, for about 2 minutes or so. And then it stopped. And I said, okay. And we were just like, wow. You know, again, we were just thinking that we got all this response from the children's graves,
mm-hmm.
and that it wasn't Millee. At that point, I still believed her just to be a Raggedy Ann doll. We came home, and after about a week or so, some things started happening. I was sitting outside on our patio. I was reading a book one evening, and we had rocking chairs on our patio. And the one next to me starts rocking. I look around. None of the other chairs are rocking. I look at my plants, the landscape, the flags. There's no breeze. Nothing else is moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at the chair, and I just put my hand on it, and I stopped it, and it stopped. It's okay. That's fine. A little while later, still outside reading. My brother had come over. He was visiting, and he came out and back, and we were talking. And the sliding glass door that leads to the patio slammed shut, and it looked like somebody was throwing a basketball into the door. The door actually vibrated. We both stopped talking because we're watching this, and we're waiting to see who's going to come out of the house. Nobody came out of the house. And we were both just sitting there, and I finally just said, did you see that? He's like, yeah. And I said, okay. I'm thinking, this is kind of weird. And we did everything possible to recreate what we had witnessed. We slammed different doors, opened other doors. We did everything we could. We could not recreate it. So later that night, as I'm going to bed, at this point, Millee, the Raggedy doll, I had her on a shelf in my bedroom next to two dolls, Eskimo dolls that I picked up in Alaska several years ago. When I came upstairs to go to bed, both the dolls had been knocked off the shelf. The dolls had been there for several years. They have never moved. So I thought, okay. So the next day, I called my friend Jessica, and I said, I think I might have a haunted doll. And I was telling her about what was happening and stuff, and, we kind of kept it kind of like hush-hush because, people, they, are weird about these kind of things.
All right, we're going to take a bit of a break here. I have to take a commercial, so please stand by, Marcee. Explanation, Marcee Brightenstine is our special guest, and her website is www.milleeandme.com. That's MILLEEANDME.com, and we'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shaman worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light. Exonation, Marcee Brightenstine is our special guest. Her website is www.milleeandme.com. Now, Marcee, before we went to the break, you were telling us about the shelf that you had Millee on in your bedroom, and on each side, I believe, were dolls that you picked up in Alaska. You go up to the room where the dolls are. Both the Alaskan dolls are knocked down. Now, was Millee sitting there as smug as can be?
Yes.
Wow.
I looked at her, and I in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, no, this can't be. But I'm a paranormal investigator, and there's a lot of things that people say that it can't be, but they are. And that was the last night Millee stayed in our bedroom. At that point, I moved her to my office.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next couple of weeks, things would happen, like we would hear a little girl talking. My husband would come home from work. He would be in the garage unloading groceries, and he could hear somebody talking to him. He thought it was our daughter, but our daughter was at work. And we kept having things like this happen. And so my friend and I, we decided to try to investigate the doll.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what's going on. We got an EVP of her saying her name because we asked her. I apologize. It's now about 3 months later, and I have named her Millee.
Okay.
And
why Millee?
Because the three children at the gravesite, their names were Millard, Melissa, and Eugene. And I wanted to use letters from all of their names.
Okay.
And I wanted to do the double E because Marcee is a double E.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I named her Millee. And we had done some EVPs, and I asked her, "What's your name?" And she said, "Millee." This particular day, when we were doing EVPs with her, she said her name 7 times. And when I asked her, I said, "What is your real name?" Because I'm trying to figure out, who she really is.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Millee." And I'm like, okay. And so things continue. And the first couple of years that I had her, I did not know how to communicate with her because, haunted dolls don't come with an instruction manual. You're doing your best to try to figure out what's going on. But then I met a lady who told me how I can communicate with her, and this was about 2 years ago. Prior to meeting that lady, my husband and I have been outside on our patio. We just sitting out there. Our kitchen window looks out into the patio. My husband jumped up out of his chair, and he screamed, "Who's in the house?" And I said, there's nobody in the house. And he goes, there's somebody in the house. I said, there's nobody in the house. Our kids weren't home. It was just him and myself. I said, there's nobody there. He goes, then why is there a little blonde girl at the kitchen sink washing the dishes? Well, I looked. I couldn't see her, but I immediately ran in the house, and I didn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's obviously in shock. I can tell he has seen a ghost. He has seen something, and he doesn't make this stuff up because he's a true skeptic. So it's okay. Another couple months passed. Another incident where Gary comes in the kitchen and she's at the sink washing dishes. The description he gave me was that she was a little blonde girl, about 10 or so, with pigtails, dressed in late 1800 clothing. So, okay. And this was not information that we released out to the public, only to our close friends. And I wrote the book, and I went to do a book signing. And a lady came over to meet me, and she would not confirm or deny whether she was a medium or psychic or clairvoyant or any of that. But she had a lot of information to give me. She said to me, she goes, one of the first things she said is, you do know she's a little blonde girl, right? I said, yes. Thank you for validating, because my husband has seen her twice. And I said, are you able to communicate with her? And she said, yeah. And so I asked her to ask Millee some questions. One of them was, did she, like being here? Did she, does she miss where she was? Is she happy? And the lady said that Millee said, yes, she's very happy. She also wants you to know that you didn't pick her, she picked you. And I said, okay. She goes, Millee thought that you looked like a nice, fun-loving woman, and she wanted to be part of your life. I said, okay. And so then I asked her, I said, can you ask Millee, is she happy about the book? And so she came back, she said, Millee is happy about the book. She likes everything about it, but she hates it when people say that she's not real. It hurts her feelings, because she is real. I said, okay. And she goes, Millee also wants me to tell you that she's not always going to be able to protect you. I said, okay. So at this point now, we're realizing Millee believes that she protects me, and I would confirm that. And then my last question, I had her ask Millee, I said, can you please ask her what her real name is? And she said, my real name is Millee. So I asked her, this lady, how can I communicate with her? Because I'm having to rely on mediums and psychics and whoever I can run into to be able to communicate with her. And she told me, she said, I can communicate with her. I just need to ask the question and be silent and wait for the answer to come. And so over the last year and a half or so, that's basically how I'm able to communicate with her and find out what's going on.
So how do you think that this doll, Millee, was able to get you to go to this store and pick her? How does that work?
I honestly don't know.
You're a paranormal investigator. You must have some idea or a theory.
Well, I think sometimes it's called fate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a haunted doll in that store. I didn't have a clue. For some reason, she influenced me to pick her over the other ones.
Okay.
I had several dolls in my hands, but I kept coming back to her. So I believe it's fate. I don't know how else to explain that.
Where did your interest in the paranormal come from? It seems that prior to even Millee coming into your life, you had an interest in the paranormal.
I've had an interest in the paranormal since I was probably about 10 years old, and I've been on a team for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I was just doing stuff on my own, trying to learn about the paranormal world and stuff like that. And, not a whole lot of people knew that was my hobby.
Right.
Very few people. And then I joined a team, and I started learning more, started learning how to use the equipment, learning how to communicate, and various things like that. And that's something I really enjoy. I think it's extremely interesting to hear stories from the past. It's different. It's a neat feeling sometimes when somebody trusts you enough to communicate with you.
Would you say that a large majority of the work that a paranormal investigator does is more historical than paranormal?
There's both. I prefer investigating historical locations.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, because I'm a history buff. That is what I like to do.
Right.
Our team, skeleton crew, we also do residential. I am not a big fan of residential cases because sometimes then it becomes too real. You're dealing with a family that's had a loved one that maybe has committed suicide or something. And I prefer to keep it more historical and more entertaining. I don't want to have to be responsible for trying to make a call on something that I really don't know that much about. I mean, I know stuff,
sure,
but not to the point where I would want to console somebody on what to do.
All right, you and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Please stand by. Exonation, our guest this hour is Marcee Brightenstine, and we're talking about haunted dolls this hour in the X-Zone. And if you'd like to find out more about Marcee and her haunted doll, Millee, visit www.milleeandme.com, and we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God,
the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Exonation, Marcee Brightenstine is our guest this hour. Her website is MilleeandMe.com. What or whom do you think is haunting Millee?
I do believe it is a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's been seen by my husband. She's been seen by other mediums. Every single person that has read her has given the same description. I know she stays with me because she's having fun. For some reason, doesn't want to, I don't know if the term is crossover or what, for some reason she wants to stay here and hang out, and I think she's just enjoying seeing things. We travel a lot. We've been to 12 states in the last 5 years. I don't tell people she's a haunted doll when we're traveling, but she interacts with a lot of people, and she makes a lot of people smile, and I think that's why she's here. She just wants to enjoy life.
Why do you take her traveling?
For the fun of it, because if I figured if she was a young girl from the 1800s, late 1800s,
mm-hmm.
that the world has changed so much since then, that the cars, the planes, microwaves, cameras, our phones, everything, and it must be fascinating for her to see all of this.
But you're talking about a doll who is haunted. She doesn't have a soul. She doesn't have a consciousness. She doesn't have the ability to know what's going on. I'm having a bit of a problem here understanding why you would take her across to 12 different states. When you travel, do you do book signings with her? Do you do interviews with her? Or do you just travel for the heck of it?
Both. I love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I had heard a story once about a man that had traveled through Africa, and he took a rubber chicken with him, just for the fun of it, to put in his pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I'll travel with a haunted doll. It's fun. If she is truly there and she's watching this, then she's fascinated by it. I've only done a couple book signings. We do a couple paracons, and she meets a lot of people. But mostly, I don't advertise her as a haunted doll when I'm traveling. I use her as a photo prop, and people will see her in my purse.
Mm-hmm.
They'll see my camera around my neck, and they'll ask me about her. I say, yeah, I use her as a photo prop in the different historical places we go, and a lot of people will ask, can I please hold her? I had a doll like this when I was a child. A lot of people, you can just see that they become very emotional, and they remember their childhood. A lot of people just want to hold her.
Okay, is she a Raggedy Ann doll?
Yes.
Okay, if Millee was a blonde child, why would she pick a red-headed doll? Why would she not pick... Have you asked her?
No, I have not asked her.
What kind of questions do you ask her?
A lot of them she won't answer, because I've asked her.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you originally from? I have not gotten a response to that one. When we are going to an event, because she does have a variety of clothes that I've had made for her, I'll ask her, what dress do you want to wear? And she'll tell me. I'll ask her, do you want to go to this event?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get a no.
Well, what happens if you want to go to an event and she says no? Who wins?
The first time I won,
mm-hmm.
and it did not turn out so well, so I don't force her to go to an event if she doesn't want to.
So what do you do? Just leave her at home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does she have since she's not in your bedroom anymore, in your office, does she have a special place where she rests?
Well, she no longer stays in my office because what happened was after I had moved her to my office,
mm-hmm.
we had a team meeting at our house. And we were all downstairs, and we heard a loud crash from my office,
mm-hmm.
and ran up the stairs, and she had the shelf that she was sitting on in my office, she had knocked all the battery chargers off that shelf. So I brought her down to the meeting. From now on, she has a place downstairs in our dining room, game room area, and people come over, family members, friends, our team, people come in and they'll just say, hey, hi, Millie, how's it going? Everybody comes in and talks to her. And she seems to be the happiest there. And we just kind of include her as she's part of the family, I don't know. Hey, I know it sounds crazy, but
it does. I must be honest with you. It does sound very strange. I don't know if crazy is the right word. What do your children think?
Both of my kids do not care for the doll at
mm-hmm.
all. My husband, she likes her. My granddaughter, she likes her. My daughter-in-law likes her. But my two children, they're not too fond of her.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're not used to having their mom being a paranormal investigator and investigating haunted dolls and talking to haunted dolls. So it probably makes them feel a little weird.
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to say it as gently as I can.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that the doll is really talking to you and you are not just filling in the blanks yourself?
That question's been asked before, and it's because it's happened to other people. There have been people that have held her and have told me that they will find themselves answering questions. So somehow she is communicating to them, asking them questions, and they're answering them out loud, and all of a sudden they'll realize what they're doing. When it's not something that happens every day,
mm-hmm.
but when she's active, which is usually before we're getting ready to go on a trip, it's just the energy changes, and it's a different type of, it's not me filling in the blanks. It's somebody else saying something to me just as if I was on an investigation and a spirit was trying to communicate with me, and it's different.
Does Millie have this effect on people who are not believers of the paranormal?
People that hold her and don't know that she's haunted
mm-hmm.
always tend to leave with a big smile on their face.
Oh, okay. Dolls have that effect on people, I would imagine. But I mean, does she?
A lot of people hate dolls.
Ah. Okay.
I'm serious. A lot of people really do not like dolls. We have found that out.
Do people find it strange that a grown-up lady is carrying a doll around with her?
Yes, but the way I look at it, I'm over 50. I'm allowed to be a little bit eccentric if I want to be. I probably would not have done this when I was 20 or 30.
Why not?
because back then I used to think, I was a career woman. This type of stuff didn't happen in my world. I was too busy making money. When I retired and stuff like that, I put in my years and, I was a good employee, and now I decided, I want to be a paranormal investigator. I want to have fun.
What was it that triggered your desire to be a paranormal investigator?
I thought it was interesting. I don't watch a lot of the paranormal shows because
I don't blame you. They're all crap.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's made up.
Yep.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand when a paranormal show will go into a location, and they'll be there for 2 weeks gathering evidence and try and make it look like it all happened in an 8-hour period. I've seen paranormal shows where you can hear owls screeching, but they'll say it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I like things to be true. If I'm in a haunted location investigating, I'm not going to make anything up. I want it to be true. And there's times where nothing happens, absolutely nothing, and that's okay.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our final break, Marcee, so please stand by. Exonation, Marcee Brightenstine is our guest this hour, and she is the surrogate mom to Millee, a haunted doll. www.milleeandme.com, and we'll all be back on the other side of this break as we wrap up this hour here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
You have heard of the X-Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Path Home Shamanic Art School has just launched a new online series of classes, Galactic Shamanism, Art of the Ancients, Key to Tomorrow. In these classes, composed and taught by Path Home founder and director Gwilda Wiyaka, you'll learn practical shamanic skills to support your daily life, such as how to build a medicine wheel to access the power of the earth, perform a shamanic journey, create sacred space in which to live and work, empower your life with totem animals, elementals, and fairy folk, and learn the art of accurately reading signs and omens. These tried and true skills are the key to living a powerful, productive life. Visit us at findyourpathhome.com to see the ever-growing collection of classes and leading-edge information to support you during these times of uncertainty and transition. All can be found at findyourpathhome.com.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, The 70-Year Cover-Up Exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Exonation, our guest this hour is Marcee Brightenstine, and she is the owner of a haunted doll by the name of Millee. Her website is MilleeandMe.com. How do objects get haunted? And I'm asking you now as a paranormal investigator.
This is my belief, and I'm sure everybody else has their opinion on it. This is my belief, especially in the case of like a toy or something like that. So I'll use a doll as an example.
Okay.
That the person who may have owned it or is attracted to it has felt so much, how can I say this? They've put so much energy and love into this item that they want to stay with it. It's like some of these haunted houses you go to, the person has lived there for 80 or 90 years. They were born there, they died there. They don't want to leave there. So their spirit stays there, and the house becomes haunted. Little girls play with their dolls and have tea parties and et cetera, and it becomes part of their life, maybe their imaginary friend, and something happens. I don't know why an 1800s era girl would go into a Raggedy Ann doll. That is one question she has not answered. It has been asked several times. But for some reason, she just wants to stay part of this life. She wants to see things. And so I guess to her, the most convenient way to do that was to put herself into a doll and go from there.
What would happen if the doll was ever destroyed?
I have heard conflicting things on that because I have had people say I should just burn the doll because they don't believe in haunted dolls.
Well, if they don't believe in haunted dolls, why would they tell you to burn it?
Because they're just being sarcastic. If the doll is destroyed, I am assuming if this child still wants to stay in part of this world, it's going to move to another vessel, whatever it may be. I don't think destroying the object would obviously make it so the doll is not haunted, but I think they have the ability to move to another item.
I
Want to stay.
I understand that there are different museums that house haunted dolls.
Yes.
What happens to the haunting of the doll when it's in these museums?
It's my understanding, because I'm referring to Annabelle. That's probably the most famous haunted doll there, and she's in a wood case. I do know that she is blessed with holy water on a monthly basis. You're not allowed to open the cabinet. So somehow they're containing what is supposed to be a bad spirit using other forms, with holy water obviously is a religious technique to keep her in place. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. All I could tell you is what happened to me.
What happened to you?
I found a doll that just...
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about Annabelle there.
Oh, no. Annabelle, no.
Okay. Would you ever put Annabelle in a museum to be on display?
You mean Millee?
Millee, I'm sorry, yes.
No.
Godfrey, let me ask you this question then, and it's a rather morbid question.
Okay.
The day that you pass on to whatever lies ahead, what happens to Millee?
I have spoken with some friends, and
You're not
in my will that she will go to a certain person.
Why wouldn't you take her with you?
Because if she wants to be alive, let her be alive. If I'm dead, I mean, for all I know, who knows if I'll cross over? I might want to stay back and hang out. I don't know. Nobody really knows until they're dead.
Well, that brings up another question.
Okay.
How do we know the paranormal is real and it's not a manifestation of our own minds?
We don't.
So
I mean, we've got recordings. We've got excellent recordings of spirits. We do everything possible when we listen to stuff to debunk it.
But how do you analyze those recordings?
There's a computer program that we download the recorders to, and we listen to it with headphones on. We cut out some of the background noise so we can hear the EVP clearly.
How does an EVP work? How does the voice from a spirit get onto a recorder that cannot be heard at the time of the recording, but can be heard when played back? You know, as somebody who spent the last 35 years in broadcasting, that baffles my mind.
It's baffled my mind at times, and I have asked the same question. And what I was told was there are certain recorders that pick up at a certain, I think it's called hertz level. I can't remember the exact, that our ears hear at a certain level, but some recorders can pick up things at a lower level. That's the explanation that was given to me.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of EVPs. Most of them I disregard. I think it's just maybe sometimes we want to hear something. But I have listened to some that have been just very, very clear.
Really?
And you know, I was there. I didn't hear it out loud, but I heard it on a recording, and it was as clear as day.
Have you heard about the hypothesis that it is actually thought transference that is being put onto the digital recording or the analog recording, and that the transference is being done by the person who is actually doing the EVP session?
No, I haven't. I have not heard of that theory.
Okay, it's being investigated by several universities in the United States right now. Okay. What has been your most haunted place that you've investigated?
The Goldfield Hotel in Goldfield, Nevada.
Tell us about it.
We were there a couple months ago, and it was the first time I had witnessed something like this. We were walking down a hall towards a certain room that has a reputation for being extremely active. And as a friend and I were walking down this hall, each step things seemed to just get a little bit more tense, a little bit more heavier. And I mean, we kept stopping and looking at each other. Should we continue? And we kept saying, okay, let's be brave, let's do it. And we kept taking step after step. And then we were standing next to each other, and my friend turns to me, and she is talking to me, and I said, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. And then she talks to me again, and I am listening to somebody else's voice coming out of her. So I put my hand on her shoulder, and I just said, listen, I know you're trying to talk to me. I can see your mouth moving, but the voice coming out of you is not yours. And I had never, ever witnessed this before. And we just looked at each other and we just said, let's get out of here. And we took off. We're a very fast walk, shall we say. The energy in that hotel got so bad that night that several investigators left within an hour. They were scratched, etc. But that's probably one of the worst places for hauntings that I've been to.
Have you ever seen any proof positive that ghosts are real?
We've seen videotapes, people videotape and they have a shadow or they have an apparition.
No. I mean, you yourself. Have you ever seen a ghost?
I have seen a shadow person. I have not seen a full apparition.
Yeah, now, a shadow person is usually caught with through the corner of your eye, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's not always accurate.
Gotcha.
But I have seen a direct-on shadow figure. It wasn't out of the corner of my eye, and it was standing right in front of me, and I've actually witnessed that twice.
Wow, that must have been rather unnerving.
The first time was in a historical location, and there was enough of us there that saw it, and it did not appear to be a bad thing. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't that unnerved by it. But the second time, it was in my house, and I was very unnerved by it.
Wow. Listen, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure talking to you. And one quick question. When you go on your paranormal investigations, do you bring Millee along with you?
On some, not very often.
No, okay. Exonation, our guest this hour has been Marcee Brightenstine, and she is I guess we can call her the mom of Millee, the haunted Raggedy Ann doll. She takes her all over the country, 12 states, takes photos with her, takes her to Paracon, takes her to this place, that place. Book signings. What can I tell you, X-Zone Nation? What can I tell you? All I can tell you is that I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Yesterday, it was somebody telling us about owls that are really aliens. And tonight, haunted Raggedy Ann dolls. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie, natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide.
You have heard of the X-Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.